Greetings. Welcome to the first Fireside Chat on the channel. If you don't know me, which none of you do, my name's Jeremy Hughes. What are we going to talk about today, you may be asking? I have no idea. I have no clue. So we're just going to figure it out on the fly. Been thinking about doing this kind of stuff for a long time, so we're just doing the thing instead of waiting around for something else to happen. I invite you to have your own fire. I have a real authentic fire next to me. I hope you can hear it. Freaking getting a healthy dose of cancer off of this. My palette that I'm using for my firewood was coated with some awfully suspicious materials. So that's great. Let's see what happens with that. This is the first video on the Rely on Yourself channel. So I guess what we'll start off with is just kind of an explanation of what to expect from the channel, what to expect from myself. So let's get into it. So I started Rely on Yourself last fall, or last winter really, it was in December. It started as a book, I guess. A book that I still have not completed. So the whole idea behind it is I feel like our country, not to get all political, but I feel like our country's having some issues. And I think one of the origins of the issue is kind of I guess just how I think men are today. People in general, obviously. Us as Americans as a whole, I think we are lacking in certain areas. But I think men are specifically equipped to be the usher of change. So I think that's where, first of all, I think that's where my audience would most likely be. I think that's a young man, I think is where I think a young man would be who would be most receptive to this type of idea or responsibility, if we want to call it that. But basically, the name kind of says it all, Rely on Yourself. I think we as a culture have outsourced so much of our own problems that we don't know how to operate. We don't know how to be self-sufficient. We don't know how to be an asset to ourselves, to our families, the people we love, our friends, or to just our neighbors, people we don't know even. So I think getting back to that is how we find our way forward. On the grassroots level anyway, obviously. You know, we put so much power in the hands of the country's leadership, even state leadership. But I think if we realize the power we had and the power that we can reclaim as citizens, as people, that can go a long way into making this country, our community, the world into a place where we want our children to be. I say that say the phrase children as a collective, you know, freaking whatever the next generation is. I don't have kids myself yet, so it remains to be seen. Anyway, getting off track there. So basically my whole idea is to show young men how they can be more self-sufficient, self-reliant, figure out some of their own issues so that they can help themselves and help other people, whether they know them or not. The foundation of all this stuff is financial, really. I am a certified financial coach through freaking Ramsey Solutions Financial Coach Master Training. That is currently not my job, but that is what I'm planning to do later this year. And I'm going to go through the training again. But anyway, that's the whole goal. I think that is the foundation of self-sufficiency. Because once you get that figured out, it unlocks all kinds of aspects of life. All other areas where you can make a difference. And I know you probably hear the name Ramsey and go like, oh crap, he's going to tell me no debt. I do personally subscribe to that, but even in the training, they say, you meet people where they're at in life. You don't just show up and shove an agenda down their throats. That's not what I want to do. Even though I may be saying it in a YouTube video or whatever, or a podcast. So, financial freedom is the foundation of relying on yourself, and from there you can branch out into, hey, my vehicle needs an oil change. You know what? Instead of paying the dude $50 at Speed Lube, let me do it myself. Or you may need a new piece of furniture. Maybe you need a table or something. You know what? Maybe I'm going to find a way to make one myself. Instead of going down to IKEA and getting something that's going to break in 5 months. Or what is the case in a lot of times, 5 minutes after you get it out of the dang box. Or you may have some issue with your toilet. It won't stop running. Oh, let me get on YouTube. Let me see if I can figure out what the problem might be. Oh, it's the chain in the back. Look at that. And then next thing you know, all this stuff builds on itself. And then you're faced with an actual emergency and you're not so stressed out. You have a little bit of confidence of where, I can figure this out. You don't have to worry about, oh man, I gotta do this, and this. How is this gonna happen? I don't know what to do. You're not gonna have everything figured out, but you're gonna have an idea of what to do. You at least have a first step, This isn't some magic potion where you have all of life's problems magically solved. But you have an idea. You have a starting point to work from. And if something's happened to someone else, think about the gift you give them when you can come in with a level head, steady mind, steady hand. Like, hey, I'm had some type of issue similar to this before. This is what I did. Maybe try that and see how it goes. And sometimes it's not going to work. Sometimes you got to be like, oh, okay, this didn't work. That's great. Let's try this. Anyway, that's the whole idea behind rely on yourself. As for the podcast, specifically this Fireside Chat, what is it going to talk about? I don't know. I just kind of started doing it today. I made the logo yesterday, and I started doing it today. So figured, sit by the fire, get some fumes in my lungs, and then later on in the night do some mixing, editing. I don't know what any of that means, but it sounds legit. And throw it on the YouTubes and see what happens. this isn't the only thing I'm going to have on the channel. There's going to be other videos as well, actually showing, illustrating, and teaching you how to do the things that I think will get you this level of semi-freedom, whatever, as free as you can be in today's society. Showing you how to do a budget for the first time if you've never done one. Showing you how to change your oil. Change your spark plugs if you need to. Or when you need to, because you will need to eventually. That's another thing. I can show you how to understand when you can do an oil change if you don't have one of them fancy vehicles that tells you. So that's what most of the content's going to be. It's that type of thing. And sharing what I think is insightful from like Jordan Peterson or Dave Ramsey, stuff like that. People like them, reliable voices that I think are leading people in the proper direction. And then there's this other podcast idea I came up with. Freaking one of the things I've started to say at work. Anybody asks me what I'm doing right now, I just say, I'm doing stuff, I'm doing some things. Doing some stuff and things, some things and stuff. So that's kind of stuck in my vocabulary, so I figured that could be its podcast where you just kind of talk about random crap that's happening every now and then, Talk about some stuff and things. And then there's this toolbox series I had an idea for. Toolbox series is also a series of, I guess, books, pamphlets, I don't know what else to really call them, that I have on Amazon right now. A couple anyway. Obviously the name Toolbox series, I think of these as some practical tools you can use to help guide you through this stuff that I am going to be talking about. One of them I have is a financial journal. Kind of breaks down the various steps you take and all of that. There's another one where if you're into guns, I have a weapons maintenance log on there. Kind of help you take notes into what level of cleaning you did, when you last took it to the range, what you sighted in your weapon for, like what distance. So that way you don't forget, like, did I sight this thing in at 50 meters or 100 meters or what? I don't remember. I got to do it all over again. That type of stuff. There's also a vehicle maintenance log in there to help you keep track of all your vehicle maintenance. Not sure if I published that one yet, but I know I made it. The bare bones of it, at least. I'll have to go back and check. But basically, you could log like what maintenance you did at what mileage. For example, I changed my oil at 130,000 miles. It is next due to be changed at this mileage. That type of thing. And it's not just for changing your oil. I have everything in there. Freaking everything from changing your tires, rotating tires, doing your brakes, transmission fluid, filter, all kinds of stuff. And then there's some blank pages if there's something I didn't cover, which obviously there is. There's all kinds of crap on vehicles. You can put your own maintenance item in the title. The format matches with everything else. I also have a daily journal on there. Kind of help you walk through tracking some of the habits that you want to create or destroy. There's different methods for those. I pull a lot of that from the book Atomic Habits. It's a great read if you haven't read it. So much great knowledge in there. But those are the Toolbox series of books. So the whole idea for the Toolbox series on YouTube is just kind of explaining how to use those to their best, to their full potential. And the book themselves kind of has a brief explanation as well, but I always think having a visual helps. It always helps me. But yeah, then that's kind of the concept at this point. Beyond that, I guess we'll just see how it goes, Freaking, it's always good to have a plan, but sometimes you just gotta get started. You just gotta get at it. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. And then when I mentioned that this whole thing started with a book idea, I am writing a book as well. The title book, in fact, Rely on Yourself, kind of lay this whole thing out, how different aspects of relying on yourself can help you, people around you, what exactly I'm advocating for, what I'm not advocating for. Like, even though I think we should be more self-reliant, we can't just go through life on our own. That's a miserable existence. You're going to have help sometimes. Anyway, the book will go into that. Currently in progress. So that's kind of the gist of what we got right now. Let's see. We're at 16 minutes and 40 seconds-ish. I don't know what else to talk about. If I had to come up with an idea for like an actual consistent topic for this, even though it's not consistent at all, just be like, just thoughts of the day type of thing. Because the whole reason I made this is like, I have a fire outside in the backyard every weekend. At least once a weekend. Usually ends up being at least twice, maybe 3 times. And like, my favorite thing is just chill in the backyard, throw on some podcasts that I find interesting, and just ponder life's complexities, staring at something so primitive as watching wood burn. So I guess I kind of just wanted to share that. So I guess the consistent theme is just whatever's on my mind whenever I make one. The theme is there is no theme. So I guess we'll see where that goes. And eventually I do want to have video. I'm just trying to think of a good way to do it. Which I guess the argument can be made, I just need to listen to what I said earlier and just do it. But yeah, I need to find out a good way for optimal presentation, But we'll get that figured out when it comes time. I guess we'll get into some more about me. I want to feel like you know me. I want to feel like I know you. So I guess we'll get into that a little bit. I'm 26. Like I said, my name is Jeremy. Currently living in El Paso, Tejas. I affectionately call it Hell Paso. I'll be moving to Georgia later this year. The target move-out date is 30 November, so we'll see what happens. See if everything goes according to plan, which it never does. But, brings some of life's great adventures. Unplanned adventures. I currently work for the government. That's all I'll say about that. Until I am a civilian again. Can't wait to be a civilian again. But I will say, I'm trying my best not to cuss on here. From everything I've seen, the YouTubes does not like the curse words. So I do want this to be somewhat of my job after. So we'll see if I can restrain myself. I've developed quite the colorful vocabulary. Things I enjoy doing, kind of stuff I already talked about. I like working on my truck. I have a 2016 Ram Laramie. Like it a lot. Got an interesting story behind it. Maybe I'll tell it later on this or another time. To talk about unplanned adventures. That was a hell of an unplanned adventure. I also like making stuff. Like a decent amount of the furniture in my house I made. My what is currently my bed frame. It's a bunch of pallets, but I cut those up, pieced those together so it would look somewhat presentable. I made my bedside table. Actually, pretty proud of that. Looks pretty good for being made from 2x4s. What else is there? A lot of the stuff on the walls I made too, but that's a little easier. You just gotta abuse a flat piece of wood a certain amount of way and stick it on the wall. Nothing very hard about it. Unless you're trying to get all artistic or autistic, whichever one. But guy's not hard to please. And then I also make stuff out of leather. Not any weird kinky crap, but like I made some notebooks out of it. I made my belt. Made my wallet. So some decently cool stuff. Stuff that, let's see, what's some stuff I want to do? I just want to, maybe what I need to do is get more focused on this, but I just want to make a difference in someone. Just want to make a difference, in the world. I know that's like, oh, Mr. Goody Two-Shoes over here trying to sound all important, but make himself feel better, but I don't know. Job the last 7 years hadn't been really doing it. Want to do something good. So we'll see how that shakes out. That's what I'm trying to do here. In whatever fashion. I do have a dog. Her name is Shania. She's a Boo Healer. I'm not the one who named her after Shania Twain, but that is the reason why I kept the name. If we're lucky, some sirens will go by and she'll start howling for us. It's pretty funny when she howls because she rarely barks, so it always comes out like she doesn't know how to talk. Which I guess she doesn't know how to talk, but she doesn't know how to bark. But let's see. Moving to Georgia to be with my family. We're not from Georgia, we're from Tennessee. But my brother also works for the government and is put over there. So, going back to be with the fam. It'll be good. It'll be good. It's been about 7 years since we've all been in the same place consistently for like more than 2 weeks. So, it'll be an adjustment, but it'll be good. It'll be good. And we're all of us, my brother, my mom, and myself, all just trying to make a difference in the world. Something good. So, I don't know if you'll be seeing them as well. It's kind of the next progression into my grand idea, but I don't know if they subscribed to that yet or not. So we'll see. We'll see. This fire is getting crazy. I put too much crap on it. Let's see if I can grab a picture to add to the what's it called? Thumbnail? Yeah. Something like that. Whew, 25 minutes. It's gone by faster than I thought, but also slower than I thought. Interesting. Well, I guess I'll end it here. You know, I keep thinking, we could just talk about random crap, you know, whatever's going on in the world. But that kind of fits with the Stuff and Things podcast, you know. Just gotta stick with the programming here. So maybe I'll do a Stuff and Things tomorrow, or maybe next week. I guess that's the last thing I'll give you, what you can expect as far as consistency here. Right now in my mind, you know, one video a week, or one podcast a week, I'll say. To start off, you know, first week, right now we got the Fireside Chat. Next week you get Stuff and Things. Next week, Fireside. The next week, Stuff and Things, you know, alternating. You get each podcast every other week. To start off with, I don't have a whole lot of time right now, so as far as some of the other content I talked about previously, you might have to wait until I move to Georgia. But want to try to at least get some consistency on here with those. So there's that. Ooh, I don't know if you can hear the mariachi from the neighbors. I always enjoy it whenever just chilling back out here, you know, staring into the wind, and the neighbor just playing some music. Yo, there's a neighbor dog. Yeah, we got a neighbor dog who pops his head up every now and then. What's up, buddy? Nice to see you. Shania says hi. Okay, he's gone. Have a good night, man. See you tomorrow. Neighbor dog's nice. I don't know my neighbors, but I know their dog. I'm out here all the time. He always pops his head up over the fence. Anyway. All right, 28:30. See if we can make it to 30 minutes flat. But let's see. Talking about my family, you probably will see my mom in some form or function. She's a certified life coach herself. She has like the second level of certification. I don't know all the specific languages about it. That's correct. But she is a life coach. She's done a little bit of YouTube, like I think 2 videos I saw on her website. And I know she's interested in this sort of thing. So you probably will see her at least. My brother, I'm not sure. I haven't had that conversation yet. When I go at Christmas, me and him are supposed to brief my mom and my sister-in-law, his wife, on what the plan for the family is. So, so we'll see what happens. He's becoming a civilian soon as well. So we're about to be finding our way through a whole new life than we've been used to for a while. But yeah, this whole plan will develop as time goes on, and with feedback from whoever happens to be listening to this. Yeah, I guess that's it for now. We're at 30 minutes. Look at that. We made it. I'm not editing this to cut out any awkward sections. I did pause it a couple of times just because I was drawing a blank. But my intention for the Fireside Chat is to be as uncut as can be, so you get so you get an authentic me, even if I run out of words. But anyway, hope you can still hear the fire crackle. I was walking around the backyard a little bit. But I thank you for anyone who's listening. If any of you think that the whole rely on yourself thing is for you, or it could be a difference maker in whatever level of community or society, please let me know. And if you have any improvements, any sustains, let me know. Any ideas for stuff that you want to see, let me know. I don't want to just do my own thing into the darkness. I want to do something that's actually useful and productive to whatever audience I may build. So, anyway, give me all the feedback you can. I'd love it. And, yeah, I think that's it. Hope you have a great week, or have a great evening, great weekend, and have a great week ahead. See ya.